夢を叶えるのはみんなの勇気負けない心で明日へかけてゆこう強い強い願い事が僕たちを導いてくれた次は絶対譲れないよ残された時間を握りしめてただの想い出それだけじゃ嫌だよ精一杯力の限り走るんださあ夢を抱きしめたら上を向いて君の世界が大きく変わるよさあ夢を叶えるのはみんなの勇気負けない心で明日へかけてゆこ熱い熱い時代の中で
Welcome to your Uncle's Beach House episode 2. This is a podcast with a name. I'm your host, M. With me is my senpai, Jackson.
Hello, I'm actually younger than you by several years. That's the joke.
No, I know. Yeah, that's the joke. It's joke.
It's joke!
Wrong show.
Wrong show. Yeah, no, wrong show. God damn it.
We are here to talk about Love Live, and you're going to ask yourself, didn't they already do an episode of Love Live? Correct. Now we're here to talk about season 2 and the movie. And we have a name. It's a real podcast. Going to be an infrequent podcast, but we enjoyed that so much that we want to do more. So we watched the rest of Love Live because you know what's good? Fucking Love Live.
That was great. We were like, we have to finish this, and we may as well do another podcast about it.
Yep. If you want to hear our general anime takes about what we're watching week to week that isn't this show, you can listen to The Great Gundam Project. That is our normal anime podcast. You can find it on our Patreon, patreon.com/abnormalmapping. For $1 a month, you will get Gundam. We're watching Double Zeta. We're talking about Armor Trooper Bottoms. I'm talking about Full Metal Alchemist and JoJo's and everything else I'm reading and watching at any given time. Mm-hmm. I'm all in on anime this year.
Sure is.
I'm going to become an expert.
Anime expert M. Marco.
That's me.
Yep.
I'll be the senpai then.
Truly, you will be the senpai.
Yep. This is dumb. You know what? Let's just get into it. Let's just talk about some Love Live. So, we watched Love Live Season 2. If you want to know what Love Live is, I'm about to read to you a Wikipedia page that will explain that as soon as I get to the page.
I'm going to keep vamping for just a little longer as the page loads.
So, Love Live is a show that aired in 2013 and 2014. It ran for 26 episodes. We're covering the back 13. This was directed by Takahiko Kyogoku. This was a collaboration with Thank You G's Magazine, music label Lantis, and Animation Studio Sunrise. This is meant to sell CDs and anime and live shows, and it does all of that handily, I'm sure, because it's very popular, and a video game, which I continue to play every day. Still playing Love Live. I really need to watch Sunshine, so I know who half the cast is.
Just a bunch of unknown girls.
Yep. So that is what Love Live is in general. Jackson, specifically, Season 1, the girls saved the school that they were trying to save because it was going to get closed. They did not compete in the actual Love Live because of this, but they were fine with it. Season 2, we're back at it again. School is saved. What happens now?
Season 2 begins with maybe the craziest first 3 minutes of any, like, returning anime ever. As point 1, Honoka is the new student council president, and if you haven't listened to the last episode or watched Love Live, Honoka is the Goku of idols. Just a complete like dits and idiots, but in the best anime way. Just like completely like going through life, not a care in the world. Worst person to be president of the like student council, but actually the perfect person to be president of the student council because through sheer will she will get everything done. At the end of the first episode, she stops the rain by asking it to stop. This is the power of Honoka.
Demanding it to stop. stop with her magical protagonist powers. I was convinced most of this first episode was a dream, but it is not a dream. This is just the long nightmare we live in.
So she comes out, she's student president, she has like a whole Disney song about like, this is my life now, and then the plot begins, and the plot is there is another love life. There is a winter love life. They have another shot while they're all still at school, and it's the last chance because the whole premise of Love Live is there's 3 girls from 3 years in the school, and so after this year, the third years will graduate, and then they won't be the same group of girls anymore. So they resolve to compete in and win the Winter Love Live. That's what they're going to do. As one last treat for the seniors. The bulk of the season is a bunch of episodic, like, short stories about the characters. The plot itself picks up in, like, episode 8, when to win this Love Live, they first of all have to get through the preliminaries, and the preliminaries have worked out such as that Muse, who are the main group we're following, and Arise, who are the super popular school idol group who have like brought school idols as a thing into the consciousness, are in the same preliminary in Tokyo, and they have to beat them, and they don't know how to do it, and they have to figure out how to write a song in order to do it, and it's Snow Halation, and they win, and then they have to go on to the actual Love Live, but there's a bunch of complications as like it starts snowing, and she has to like balance her responsibilities as student council president with her responsibilities to the band, and no one can decide whether they're going to keep going after this when the seniors leave, and there's a lot of drama, and eventually through the power of teamwork and the help of literally every single person at the school, Honoka makes it to the show on time. Everyone resolves to be done with Muse when the seniors leave. They're not going to bring in new members. These 9 girls are a team and will be forever. And they win the Love Live with everyone's help and go to graduate. And then there's a phone call and a big cliffhanger, but that's for another time.
Yes. Also, the school idol club is still going, and
Yes.
What's her name? Elise, and what's Honoka's sister's name? Do you remember?
Oh shit, Honoka's sister. I know. Elise is the one I know, and I just call her Honoka's sister.
Yes. I'm trying to find a list of Elisa and Yukiho.
Yukiho, yes.
Yes, are in the club now, and Hayano is made club president, and
Yep.
Because Nico's gone, and yeah, things continue. There are going to be implied there's new idol groups going to be formed in school, but Muse was these 9 people. It must be these 9 people. That's just the way of things.
Yes, they like retire the name, and everyone continues to do their own thing, presumably. But Muse as a group will only be these 9 girls and must like no more, no less.
Yep. The last like 3 episodes of them coming to that decision and being sad about it, but very resolved to do this, is some of the most devastating good feelings in the world.
Episode 11 ends with like 5 solid minutes of everyone just bawling.
Yeah,
and
no,
there's still
same.
2
Me
more
too,
episodes
girls.
to go.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, Jesus, this is rough.
Yep.
This is anime graduation.
Yeah, and then Hanako goes and paints the Muse symbol on the roof with water and remembers that the first time they all practiced together, and that's also very sad and good.
Yeah, like they're all fading in as ghosts.
Yep.
And it's just lots of warm feelings. And then like a phone rings and Hayano's like, shit, it's an emergency, and everyone runs off for one last adventure. To be continued in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
which is all very good.
it's all very good. But we'll talk about the show first. We'll get into the movie later.
Yes.
After season 1, I personally was like, I don't know what season 2 is even going to be about. They resolved that the love life didn't matter and they wanted to be friends. How are they going to just like win the show? Like, that seems boring. And then it was like easily a better season in every way, and it was fantastic.
Also, the actual show does not give a shit about the actual love life.
No, it doesn't even a little bit. Like, you don't even know that they've won until like halfway through the final episode when someone brings out a flag and a trophy. Like, I guess we won.
Yep.
None of the other girls, like, groups even exist other than Arise because they have a plot with them, but they don't beat anyone to win. They're too nice to, like, actually, like, destroy the hopes of 49 other idol teams.
Yep. Also, they do not have the budget to produce a bunch more music.
Oh, they sure don't. There's only the one Arise song.
And it's a real banger, too.
I want more Arise songs. I assume there's a few in the game, but there's only one in the show.
I don't really think so. It's mostly just Muse stuff.
Okay. Arise are good.
Yeah.
Cool girls.
Arise are good. And they're very nice. They never become like actual real rivals. They just give them career advice and tea and push them to be the best Muse can be.
They're just like the people who do this professionally, looking at these adorable children trying to do it themselves.
But also, like, these girls doing it themselves have inspired us to be even better because they remind us why we love being idols.
Yeah, it's really good. It's exactly that. Like, there's no subversion there, but it's just the thing you want.
Yes, it's like the anti-speed racer.
Yes, Love Live is the anti-speed racer, but in every way that maintains the same energy and spirit of Speed Racer.
Yes, absolutely.
Equal and opposite.
Yep.
But the bulk of the season is like a lot of single episode story. I mean, sometimes they even like put 2 stories in the episode split by like the commercial break, because the show moves fast. And they generally like will pick a character to focus on each time, and you know, this week's it's Rin's story, this week's it's Nico's story, and so it goes through everyone's whole deal. There's only one really bad episode in the lot, and it's luckily doesn't infect anything else with its badness.
Also, that episode still has really good stuff in it.
I mean, that bit where they're all looking through the window of the rice shop is a huge move.
You know, also them staying late to fix the budget draft that Honoka fucked up because she should not be student council president. And then doing the thing that an anime never does, where when the meeting happens, she is just honest with them and it saves the day.
She's just like, yeah, we fucked up. Sorry about that. It's really bad. This will hopefully fix everyone's problem, but like, yeah, it's like as a compromise, is everyone okay with that? And then they're like, okay, sure. Thanks for talking to us.
Yep. Never thought I'd see it.
It's the most...
We've been asking for them to put Star Trek and Gundam for a year now, and they put Star Trek and Love Live instead.
Just calmly explaining the mistakes and like how they happened, and it solves everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we get into individual episodes that we liked, let's talk a bit about our power rankings here. I feel like I like every one of these girls more, except for Umi, who was a favorite for me in season 1, but is now at the absolute bottom of the girl rankings.
I'm kinder to Umi than you, but they take, because I liked Umi a lot. She's like the controlling one, but they did a really good job of like having that come from her insecurities and like her love for Hanako.
Yes.
In the first season, and that's where like the conflict was. But that conflict's been resolved, so now she's just kind of the boss of everyone in a shitty way and exists to like do that in the comedic scenes.
Yes, she's just there to be like weirdly fixated on stuff that doesn't matter because she's the type A one. And I normally like that character, but they just make her a buffoon. And then in episode 7, the bad episode, she is actively the worst human being.
Yep. No, she is the like, because the episode 7 is a weight loss episode, which is, I'm told, a big trope in this kind of like, I've got the Sailor Moon one of those next. The first Sailor Moon one of those, I guess, next.
Yeah, I mean, Sailor Moon is always like, she gives a speech about how everyone should just be happy with who they are because it's Sailor Moon, thankfully.
Good. I mean, Love Live does that literally 2 episodes before the bad episode. There's a song about that.
Yes.
Which is one of the better songs in the whole show. It's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know it's a trope, but it was really, really upset me. It was like I was not prepared for how like mean Umi was going to be about people gaining weight when all they wanted to do was eat rice. And honestly, fair enough.
Yeah, no. Rice is good. You can't have rice with a meal. Rice is the meal.
Rice is. You don't bring me some extra rice. It's not an extra.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's the basis of all Japanese food is rice. Like that's just the way of it.
Yeah. And
they're gonna pound mochi and give it to people.
They did do that.
Yes, they totally pound mochi. It's great.
But what? We'll go from the other way because we both have the same like top ranking.
So let's talk about our good old friend Nico, the greatest idol in the universe.
The best idol in the universe.
So Nico was like kind of just comedic relief, and I liked Nico a lot last season. I feel like you did too, right?
I like Nico. I was just a kind of like, I was never super comfortable with the design and like the, you know, just the whole, it was where the uncomfortableness was. This is selling like horny teenagers to like men.
I feel like the show is decidedly not that. Currently watching Evangelion, which is fucking
sure,
most that.
But like as a concept in all of anime, right? Like that's just a thing that you like learn to ignore.
Sure, but like I feel like you can feel when they're doing it, and I rarely feel like Love Live is ever doing that.
I really feel like it from the show, but I feel like it as a concept is that they are literally
sure, but like
teenage JPEGs to a bunch of guys playing gacha games, and I'm sure there's like a wide audience of girls as well, but they're also doing that.
But they want to give you statues of like them in their Halloween costumes, not them in swimsuits. And there are the swimsuit things, I know, I've looked, but I just don't think this show is like aggressive about that in a way that a lot of anime can.
No,
be.
I mean that was my first impression, and then like this season definitely that was that was never a problem. Luckily, and as the animation got better, I feel like Nika was much better animated in this. I feel she got a little taller in this season also.
I don't particularly think so, but whatever. Anyway, that episode is about Nico going to they meet Nico's family.
Yep, they meet Nico's family, and they go to Nico's house, and she's like edited all the Muse photos, so she's the star because she can't bet. Because basically, the 3 years before, or the 2 years before Muse, she was the like idol club, but no one wanted to do it with her because she was the only one who really cared, and she was too overbearing about how much she loved idols. So she'd like every time she'd go home, she would just pretend to her family that she was a super idol at school, and that was who she was. So she'd had to keep up this ruse, had to keep editing like Muse photos and stuff. So she was the one, and they were all backup dancers, which led to some incredible bits of them like chasing Nico, and then like running into Nico's sister.
Who all of Nico's siblings just look like Nico at different heights.
All of them, all of her family does. It's incredible.
Even her mother just looks like Nico, but like in a suit.
The time where Nico reveals herself to her mum in front of everyone is the best. It's one of the best jokes in the whole show.
Yes.
But in that episode, she's like been constructing this lie about who she is, and it's everyone all has to come out and come clean, and she like has to do a performance with everyone to show that no, she's not truly this like single super idol. She is with these 8 other girls, and that is who she wants to be, and she can finally reveal her true self to her family, and they accept her, and it's very heartwarming and good.
Yep. That is a great episode. Rin also gets a great episode where she is made leader and is like, I can't do this. I'm not girly enough and cute enough to be the leader. And Hanayo definitely leans into, no, you are cute and I love you so much. And then they have a wedding song because they're so gay. Too bad they're in a universe that does not know what sex is, because there's only 2 men. One of them's a child, and one of them is a dad you never see the face of.
Yes, one of them's a child, and one of them doesn't have a face. But it is the gayest thing that has happened in this show. They are definitely the canon pairing of Love Live.
Yes.
I don't know if they're actually the most popular ship, but they are. I think
So I know that there's like a fan ship that people are like mad about season 2 about, but I don't know what it is.
What could it possibly be?
I don't know. There's something that's like, oh, the show makes this untenable, but there was a ship that people were really into. I think it's what someone told me. I don't know what it is.
Okay, well,
because I can't imagine any other ship that I'm like actually into in this show at all.
Well, the only other ship that makes like sense, but I don't think it's as good as this one, is I know that Ellie Nozomi is a popular ship.
Oh sure, but they're just like they just hang out.
They just hang out. They are buddies more than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't mean to like erase anyone's like I'm coming to Love Life for the gay content, but
Yes.
the gay content is really them getting married in a song. Like that's basically what happens. No one else is
Everyone
on that
wears
level.
tuxes except for Rin, who's in like a wedding dress, and it's cute and good.
Oh, it's very cute. It's very good. Yeah, that's the song that's about. Everyone can be cute. It's a good time. But those are like, I think my top three would definitely be like Nico, Rin, and probably Honoka.
I still like Maki. She doesn't really get a whole lot to do this season.
Yeah, she doesn't. If Maki had her own, like I was waiting for the Maki episode, but it doesn't really come. She just kind of has it together and is the rich one.
You know, they just ask her for money multiple times. It's very funny.
And she's always like, "Why are they turning to me?" And I'm, because you're rich. Because you're rich, Maki.
And she knows. She gives them the money.
Yeah, it's the right thing to do.
Yep.
It's a good. It's in the movie. There's an incredible gag where she's like, "Is that what flying economy is like?" And everyone's like, "Fuck off, Maki." Oh, it's good.
Yes.
But Honoka as the like anime protagonist is very good. I never know whether I'm gonna like just those kind of characters, but Honoka pulls it through.
It depends entirely on how much they are oblivious to their ability to use their power. Honoka is the most oblivious, so she's good.
Utterly oblivious, but she has like the power to bend the universe to her will.
Yes. She is so powerful she can bend time itself, which we'll get to.
that like so there's a great gag that is 9 episodes in the making. Oh, a bit longer than that, but so she ends the first episode, she screams, and the rain stops, and that's how they know that they're going to win the Love Life.
Yes.
And then the snow is happening in episode 9. She doesn't know how they're going to get there, and then she tries to scream again, and then both Kotori and Umi look at her like, "What are you doing?"
Yep.
It's pretty funny.
She does not get the snow cleared, but the rest of the student body does, as they have shoveled the entire path.
They've shoveled the entire path across the city of Tokyo.
Yep.
And they're all like cheering her on.
As they rush to go perform the snow song that everybody likes, which is not the best song. I don't know why that's the one that blew up, because there are much better songs in the season.
It's the second song they ever made.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
It is like the classic from the game when there were only a few songs.
Okay. That makes sense then.
But that episode where all the students start shoveling the snow, and it's the spirit bomb type. All the people are coming together to make the thing happen, right? Like it's just that trope. It's very well executed. One of those.
Yes.
And you're basically just like straight teary from that right through to the end.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, during the Love Live, they are so popular, they are asked for an encore, and when they come to the encore, they are handed costumes that the student body made in secret, and they are the costumes that were from the opening of Season 1, and they just play the Season 1 opening again, and it's the best thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, so I was... we talked last season about how we saw that opening, like, I guess that's them performing at the Love Live, and maybe they'll go into that. And they do, like, eventually do that in this season, but the way they do it is so much better than you would have expected. Like, the fact that it's the encore, they've already performed once, you don't, like, see it coming at, like, they do a performance on that stage that's completely original and new costumes first.
Yep.
And then it's just this one last time, like that, because it's episode 12, it's their last performance. And it's definitely crying all the way through that.
Yep. It's very good.
It's very good.
Not at all their last performance, because they perform at least 5 more songs after that point.
Yep. I mean, it's the last performance in the show. They have another song, but it's very out of canon. Just, we're doing one more song.
Yeah, Oh Love and Peace turns into another weird musical moment where they're like a literal crowd forms around them in the street as they dance.
I would have loved to see this show lean more into it being a musical.
Yes, yes, that would be great, because the seeds are there. They're so close to it.
The seeds are there, and the movie
the movie gets into that too.
But they don't actually end up pulling the trick on that. But I would be interested to see what that would be like.
Yep. So yeah, my general feeling on Love Live Season 2, one of the best shows of anime I've ever seen.
It's fantastic. It's really good.
Yeah, I love it so much. I can't believe that this is what happened when we watched Love Live.
Yeah, no, we didn't see this coming. Thank you for putting it. Imagine if we watched Utena.
Yeah, no. I mean, I love Utena, but it would not have been the surprise that this was. Because I've always dismissed Love Live as like anime, like wife collecting bullshit. And it's really good.
Mm-hmm. And then they all run off, and then there's a movie. So I guess we're going to talk about the movie next.
嬉しいかな君に会いに行こう寂しいから君に会いに行こうそんな気持ちになるんだ進む時悩む時つながっているんだねずっと本気の夢で明日を掴むきっと
Now it's time for Love Live, the school idol movie.
Yes.
This premiered in Japan June 13th, 2015. It is created by Sunrise, as I said. Same people obviously produced this at all. Jackson, what happens in Love Live, the school idol movie?
So, after the end of season 2, where everyone had graduated and everything was over, a phone call is, well, it's like an email or a text is received. Hanaya gets an alert. Everyone rushes back to the room because there's something that's happened, and there's a new Love Live being held in the Akiba Dome, and they need the help of the current reigning champions to like promote this dome performance. And so they're sending Muse to America to do a performance in America to raise the profile of the Love Live. And off go Muse instantly to America. Like the time from
I would like to point out that the phrasing of at least the thing I have is a local news station in New York would like to do a story where you're sending you all to New York, which seems like a very expensive outlay for like a local news station. I assume they're going to be on like the Today Show, but also the idea that Al Roker is going to introduce Muse to perform is also the funniest thing I've ever heard.
I'll put a pin in that.
Okay.
So they all head off to New York, and at which point 20 minutes of plotless interacting with Americans occurs.
You mean the best thing that's ever happened?
I mean the best thing that's ever happened, and they just like hang around New York, and Umi still thinks it's 70s New York and is terrified to go out anywhere.
Yes. Umi saw Taxi Driver once and thought it was real.
Yeah, it's basically what happened. There's a lot of really funny New York interactions. The best one, because most of them are just like weird and like ring false because they're just kind of stereotypes of anime, like Westerners. The funniest one and the best one is the truest thing that's ever happened, which the random lady runs past them and just goes konnichiwa.
Yes, they're like practicing in the park and they run past this jogger lady and she very nicely goes, "Oh, konnichiwa," in the most American possible accent, and it's like, oh, you are the most New Yorker I've ever seen.
Yeah, like suddenly truth emerges from this incredible cartoon New York.
The two women who approach them when they're like in the little thing in like the little theater in the park, and like, "Oh, what are you girls a band?" And Honoka desperately tries to explain the situation in her broken English and cannot.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So they train in New York for a bit and just go around and see the sights. Then the plot kicks up again, and then there is confusion in the subway, and Honoka tries to get on the train and it's like they gets left behind, so runs down and gets to the station, barely makes it on the train, but then she turns around and the entire other Love Live crew are in the other train, and the trains go off in completely opposite directions, and she is stranded in New York, and she runs into a singer from Japan who she can actually communicate with and can lead her back to the hotel. And she tells her about how the time when she was younger, she had a group that she used to sing with, but she doesn't anymore. They had to split up because that's how life goes, and you'll understand later in your own way. And then she mysteriously disappears when she is led back to the hotel. Who knows what the deal with that is? When that's all done, they then hard cut to the performance in New York, which is not in the Today Show. It's just in Times Square.
In like a giant stage they put in the middle of Times Square.
Just a massive stage in the middle of Times Square. And because it's like a Love Live CG animated performance, it's like definitely got more budget than the show ever did. And it looks much better than the show ever did. But it still doesn't have an audience, so they're performing in empty Times Square. And it's very ridiculous. So they do that performance, they all go home, and when they arrive, they realize that this has been very successful and they're now celebrities. Like, the Love Live is on all these screens, there's merch everywhere. This movie's approach to merch is very funny to me. Because it like treats it as a thing that organically appears out of popularity, when this is the most meticulously branded and like actively sold merchandising franchise of all time.
Yes, though I do appreciate that season 1 and season 2 have the idol shop that just makes bootleg merch, and it's like, these girls are definitely not getting paid for any of this.
Yeah, no, they don't realize that this could be a thing that they're being exploited for. Which I found very funny. And then they get home and they realize that like Muse is now a thing that people care about more than just school idols. Like, if they were to continue performing outside of the context of the Love Live and the rules of Hill having to go to school, they could just keep going, and they all revisit their decision to end. And like, what does this mean? If we could just do this together? What could we do? It doesn't feel right in these ways. It feels right in these ways. And the next part of the movie is, because it's a movie rather than a 20-minute episode, is about 20 minutes of them waffling about this.
Yes. It basically becomes Honoka, like, basically depressed about regretting the decisions that they made.
Yeah, because everyone agrees with the decision they made and doesn't want to go back on it, but they also don't want to stop performing together, and now they might have an option to do that, and they don't know the right answer, and Honoka just can't find one. And then she goes to Arise, and Arise is like, yeah, we're just going to keep going. I guess you can too. Don't mind me. And they all decide to stop performing. No, wait, the first thing she does is see the woman again, right?
Yeah.
On her...
She sees the woman again. She's like, how'd you make it to Japan? Because Honoka's slow on the uptake here. And the girl has like the identical mic that she left with Honoka. And she's like, oh, I'll give you your mic back. Come back to my place. And then she refuses to come to Honoka's house, almost as if there's some mysterious reason why she can't interact with Honoka's family.
Almost as if. So she's obviously future Honoka, is what it is.
Yes.
And she's basically like coming to her from the future, like a vision of the future where she stopped performing with Muse, and she keeps like, she's still happy, she keeps performing music, but she misses it, and it's basically a way to remind Honoka like what these friends that she's made mean to her and how much she's going to miss them, and this is how she like finds her answer.
But also, if you ask me, a bohemian New Yorker Honoka is the coolest.
Incredibly cool. I want adult versions of everyone.
Yes.
I want Love Live 10 years later.
Yeah, for sure.
I need it. I need it so badly.
Yep.
But they all decide. They all come together, and they've all had these like. While Honoka's being depressed, everyone is implied to have off-screen had their own versions of this without meeting their future selves, because none of them are protagonists. But they've all come to the conclusion that they're going to stop performing after one more performance, and this performance is not going to be like for this dome thing. They've decided that's dumb. They want to do something bigger than that and more important. So they go to Arise and they're like, "We want to do a team-up show with you, but not just with you. Psych, get to the back of the line. It has to be with everyone." And so they start like putting the call out and going to recruit school idol groups from like all across Tokyo and eventually all across the country, and everyone keeps flying in and hearing the word that Muse are putting on a massive performance with everyone, to the point where at the big climax of the movie the word has gone out and there is an entire idol army just overrunning the streets of Akihabara, just completely everywhere. Sorry, that's the most British pronunciation that word's ever had. But entire idol army, and she announces to her newly formed idol army that could take over the world that this will be Muse's last performance, and everyone is sad but resolves to make this the best performance ever. And then they play the best song that is in the entire show. They all do that together.
Yes.
And
Yep.
it's very good. It's very moving. Everyone's crying. You're like, oh look, everyone's dancing along. Even Hanukkah's dad starts dancing along, but you still don't see his face.
No.
The mums like all get together and do a dance, which is very cute and good.
Yes, we almost get the moms in a group of their own, which would be the best.
Yeah, which is what I want.
Yeah.
Because all the mums that we meet are very good and cute.
If I was directing anime, I would absolutely make a show about the moms of school idol group that create their own like band on the side in the weekends.
Yeah, I want that, and then I want the version of that just has all these characters as mums. I
Yes.
just want everyone as adults. Who has kids?
You know.
God. Anyway, and then they all take one last photo and remember the time, and then we time skip a little later, and everything's a little unclear. And we go back to the school, and it turns out that at this point, Arisa and Yukio.
Yes, they are third years running the Idol Research Club.
Running the Idol Research Club, all the students come in and they go like, "This is a famous school because it is where the Muse came from," and they saved the school, and then they like made Love Live into an international phenomenon, and that's what they did, and that was their final performance. Big quotation marks. As we then cut to backstage, the Muse all together doing their like Muse music start.
Yes, it's like their first performance as like a group after they all graduate, reforming.
Yes, because they decided they couldn't keep going while they were all at school, but now they're all free, and they can all get together and be idols together for eternity. And that's how we end, and it's good.
Yeah. This movie, just a delight. Mostly, like them in New York specifically is just my favorite thing.
Yep.
I could watch them marvel at New York City. Apparently in America, all you do is eat desserts.
Yeah, they just go to a restaurant and have cheesecake.
Yeah, which, I mean, cheesecake's great, so I get it.
There's like 3 separate scenes all dedicated to, wow, Americans eat a lot of food.
Well, it's like they let, what's her face? Why can't I remember her name?
Katori?
Yes, they let Katori basically pick everything, and all she picks are desserts. And then, like, while they're talking, they talk to Maki, who clearly has just been in New York multiple times because she's rich. And she's like, no, we don't have to eat like this. I know where there are other restaurants.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, you mean we could just go and get rice?
Yes, because Hayano is so mad that they're eating bread, she needs rice with a meal. So they just go to the New York City branch of the rice store they went to in episode 7.
Yeah, I had never considered that to Japan, like America, the food breakdown is rice versus bread. Well, of course it is. Like, it's the most obvious thing in the world. Because I don't think of bread as like a super stable food in like America or anything, but it totally is. That's just invisible to me.
Especially if you're eating in restaurants, like you always get bread with a meal.
Yeah, and I just don't. I assume it's like.
Whereas I cook with rice almost every meal at this point. So
you are on board with Haneo's screed about rice. Fuck this bread.
Well, I mean, like, I like bread, but rice is really cheap.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and they go to the rice store, and Haneo could not be more happy.
Yes.
And that's good. Yeah, all the stuff in America is really good. I didn't know if that was going to be the whole movie, because you could get a whole movie.
Also, during their performance in New York, when they're in Times Square, you get an array of amazing like anime riffs
Signs.
on like Broadway show art posters.
There's Harriet the musical, which is very funny.
That's good.
Which just has the Matilda logo almost exactly.
Yes, that's good.
There's Father's Pizza. Was one that I saw and laughed a lot at.
Yes.
Oh god, what a ridiculous movie.
Yeah. That stuff is really good. The Honoka being sad stuff kind of drags, as all anime movies based on shows that are really tightly plotted do, but that's fine.
Yeah, like the movie is just kind of a little it's just not as tight because it's over 90 minutes long.
Yes, but there's a sequence, there's like a montage song of them in New York City that basically has zero of the CG. It is just like the most hand animated music that they've ever done in the show. It's amazing. And
so there's a lot of songs in this movie because it's a movie that have to have a bunch of songs. It can't just be at the one at the end like all the episodes. So they have the two big performances, the one in New York and the one at the end, and then the final, I guess the third one in the credits.
Yes.
And then they have a bunch of insert songs, which are the group split into three. Each of the like year pairings has their own song. So the third years have a song, the second years have a song, the first years have a song. Did you not realize it went down that way?
No. I remember. It's just been many weeks since I have watched this.
Right, because you had to wait for me.
Yes.
And so we get like scenes, and those are the most songs written because this is a movie. The songs for the game were written for the game, and then they brought them into the show. These are songs written for the plot that is happening. So they basically sing about being in New York and how crazy it is, and how weird it is, and how they're like on top of the world.
I also want to point out, we have not really talked about it, but this movie in particular has some of the best fashion in anime I have ever seen.
Incredible fashion.
Yes, and they go and buy more clothes in New York, and it's just my favorite thing. If they could just go through like 30 looks in this movie, I would be so happy.
The scene of Honoka in like the Apple shirt.
Yes.
Oh, it's great.
There's a scene where they go to the big love statue of the letters, and they do a live with their arms and take a picture. It's very good.
They do love live with their arms, and Monkey's the E and just looks really bored.
Yeah.
While everyone else is the most like anime cute, like yay!
I cannot tell you how much this movie is just a beautiful delight. Like, I don't think it's like as emotionally resonant as the end of season 2, but it's just such a good time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like the main criticism of the movie is kind of a retread of the end of season 2 because it's the same conflict. Yeah, do we keep going? And like that's true. But as a
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but like as a one last round for everyone, it's really good, and I like the place it comes to at the end.
So when I watched the movie, I was actually a little disappointed because I like the idea that they just let Muse be a thing that they did and went on with their lives. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure I love the idea that they pick back up after they all graduate. It's fine. It doesn't matter to me that much. But I kind of liked where it ended. I'm glad they went this way instead of like, we're going to have to Muse as a semi-professional thing while we're still in school. Because that's the wrong answer. I would have been very disgruntled at that. Mm-hmm. But it does kind of cheapen the best part of the back half of this movie where they get the literal army of school idols and pass the torch to them. Like, you all have the power now to be protagonists of your own anime.
Please watch Sunshine.
Yeah. I don't think the Sunshine Girls are in this movie at all, but they should have been.
They really should, but I don't think they were like the plot wise
designed yet. Yeah.
I think plot wise, a bullet point I have seen, which raises into question a lot of the canon stuff, is that the Sunshine members are all present at Muse's final concert, which is the actual real life final concert that happened in the real world.
Okay.
Because there's debates as to like online as to whether the ending of this movie is everyone picking up later or whether it's just the final concert that you could go to in the real world, like type thing.
Yeah, Final Live, which you can watch on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's good, but it's weird.
It's weird. I do like some of the performances. It's good. I like how shit they are. They are not professional idols. They are voice actors.
Yes.
So it really gets across like a bunch of people who don't know how to do this, just like doing their best, which is the Love Live spirit.
Yes.
It's pretty good. But yeah, so no one really like, I don't know how it falls in Sunshine, but for this it works very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's a great time. I love the CG stuff, which has been up and down, but generally pretty good this season. Really shines with the giant army of idols, which you could never animate in 1,000 years.
They have a giant army of idols.
Yeah.
And it's like they never do the full song because they don't have time in the show. They just do, the 1.5 minute like single verse chorus ending structures for anime opening structure that just
Sunny Day Song goes on forever.
it's like a 4-minute song.
Yeah.
And they have like the idol army, and then it cuts to like all the people watching dancing and everyone dancing, and then there's like a bit where they literally turn to the camera and tell the audience to sing along.
Yes. Which, if you'd saw that in the theater and the theater started singing because the song is not that complicated, it would have been the best thing in the entire world.
Yeah, no, because it's literally just Sunny Day Song over and over and over again.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish I had seen that in the theater. You might get to see the Love Live Sunshine movie in a theater.
Maybe. We'll see if I watch it by then. There's so much going on, but...
If they announce that to be, like, have a run, you'll watch it in time.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think it'll come here, because that doesn't really come to the UK as much. But I know Love Live original movie came to America. There's
that would've been great.
There's one review, like, on Metacritic that was just, like, the Arizona something, who just went down the list of movies about this week and went to see the Love Live movie and reviewed it. And it's like, what the fuck is this? This is terrible. This plot makes no sense, and the lyrics aren't translated well, is his entire critique.
Yeah, well...
Not for you, don't worry.
Yeah.
You've got to be a little in deeper into the weeb nonsense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the movie. Apart from, like, I get that the middle bit, like, sags a bit as it goes through.
Yeah. If this movie was like 83 minutes, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, they just needed to tighten that middle section.
Yep. But great time. I loved it a lot. Beautiful end to Muse. I will miss them so much.
I know. Heroes all.
You know. So I guess that's kind of it.
That's Love Live.
Do we intend in the future to watch Sunshine?
We do, but I don't know if we'll do a podcast on it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It will depend on if we
out.
watch it at the same time.
You know, I don't have any current plans to watch it. I would like to, but I don't know when that fits into my schedule. So I needed some time. After,
you need some time.
Yeah,
I'm
not ready for New Girls.
I watched like the first 10 minutes of Sunshine being like, maybe I'll go straight into it. I couldn't. I was like, these girls aren't getting a fast shot. I gotta stop.
You know.
One of them did claim to be an alien.
Yeah.
You know about the alien girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
The game says that she's a fallen angel, not an alien.
Okay,
but,
that's yes, but she basically fell from the sky.
Yes.
So I guess they are way more on their bullshit now that they could do anything and everyone's gonna follow them.
Yeah. Which fair enough, honestly.
Yeah, no, as you should be.
Chica, the main girl, is just the most knockoff Honoka I've ever seen, though.
Extremely fake Honoka, false Honoka.
Yes.
Who's already just like fake Yui. She's even got the same hairband.
Muse produce roughly 100 times more songs
Well, that's because
than the
Muse have
K-On! Girls
Maki.
do.
If like K-On! Like Honoka had to lead anything creative or songwriting, they would never get anything done. As seen in K-On!,
That's
they
true.
would eat tea all day, eat tea and cakes.
Yeah, I mean that's what I want to do. So
Where's
it
my
makes
Love
sense.
Live K-On! Crossover?
I feel like K-On! Is like good in the fact that it's not this thing, right? Like it's super self-contained, and I think that's all right.
Oh no, I know, but that's why I want to see these two crossover. Like I don't know, one day I'll watch K-On! And be like, I'll need to watch Sound Euphonium next to get my fix.
The thing I want is the K-On! Girls to meet future Honoka. That's the thing crossover that the world deserves.
Future Honoka and the Teacher's death metal band.
Yes, the future Honoka would get along with the K-On! Girls so well.
Oh, she really would.
Yes.
But that's Love Live.
Yeah.
That's the beach house for the day. We didn't have a name last time, but we do now.
No, but we do now. This is on the Patreon feed. It's on patreon.com. Do these go up on YouTube, Jackson?
Yes,
I don't
they
know
go
if
up
we
on
do
YouTube.
that. Okay.
If you're listening on
Maybe
YouTube,
you're watching us on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can find our podcast at normalmapping.com. You can support us at patreon.com/normalmapping. Get our weekly anime podcast, The Great Gundam Project, for $1 a month. That's the important stuff here. We will have one of these in the future at a nebulous date to be determined about a very different kind of show.
Either in like a few weeks or 8 weeks, because there's a deadline.
Yeah. We'll see.
Do you
We'll
get it
probably
done
keep
by
going.
October is the question.
We'll see.
You should, because if you like have a break between episodes 19 and 20, you're fucked.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
We'll just keep going. We'll try.
But no, that's it. Thank you very much for listening.
Yes, where can you be found on the internet, Jackson?
I can be found at Headphones Off on Twitter and out on all my
You can find you can find me at em_being. Thanks everybody. Until next time.